Welcome to the Roy Anthony and
every
Friends
Tuesday
show.
and every Thursday. Y'all tap in.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is
Anthony
anybody out
show
there?
is the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank and Cynthia. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank and Cynthia. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's where we can kick
every Tuesday.
Everything is going
every
down.
Thursday.
They about to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo, on the weekends, the Roy Anthony
every
Show.
Tuesday.
It's during the week, homie. The Roy
every
Anthony
Thursday.
Show. What you listening to? The Roy Anthony Show. Come on and get a
Tap in.
before we gotta
Tap
talk.
in.
What you listening to? The Roy Anthony
every
Show.
Tuesday.
Come on and kick it with us. The Roy Anthony
every
Show.
Thursday.
It's going down, homeboy. The Roy Anthony Show. Co-host
Tap in.
Big Hank. We getting it. What you think? Hey. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank and Cynthia. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank and Cynthia Joy.
What it do? What it do? What it do? Man, this is comedian Roy Anthony. I see some of our people coming in. Miss Starlet Evans, she said, hey, we see somebody's new with us. Jax Eleanor, he said, is this just a music video? No, that's our intro. Hey, welcome you to the Roy Anthony Show. I am Roy Anthony. Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show. My co-stars will be coming in real soon. That's Big Hank, Norman coming out of Long Beach, California, as myself as I come back and forth through Kansas City, Kansas. Then we have our beautiful queen co-star, which is Cynthia Joy Towner. She's coming in from Colorado Springs, Colorado. And well, the Roy Anthony Show, which is on the platform of the WO Entertainment, which was created to bring awareness to how our veterans commit suicide on a daily rate. And so what we found that a lot of people who commit suicide, veterans, non-veterans, teenagers, is that sometimes people feel inadequate with the way they thinking that they isolated in their own thoughts and patterns. So we took a pride in ourselves of having a platform where our show is based on having a conversation and stuff. We pride ourselves, our logo is, it's not a confrontation, it's a conversation. And that means that sometimes we don't get nowhere as society unless we have a conversation. And we pride ourselves on being able to talk on any subject. We've had conversations about child molestation. Some our crew have been through this. Before I go any farther, let me give credit where credit is due. First, I want to, the WO Entertainment, which I said was created by veterans. Myself, I'm not a veteran, but I've always appreciate and give the veterans a lot of praise, because I wouldn't have the freedom that I have now to this day, just like many of us, especially in this country. WO was created by Richie King, aka Redneck Pimp. That's a stage comedy name. Richie King is also running as an independent in the United States presidency. That's the truth. Then the co-creator Goose, along with our social producer who keeps everything running. I had some situations going on this morning. She took care of it. That's Blue Phoenix. Our man Ethan Daly, We have our sponsor, Matthew Brooks, because this isn't free. It's just not free. He makes sure everything's taken care of. And then we have our good neighbors like the Backwood Veterans, BB Nation, based out of Oregon. And then the Long Beach All Stars, that's based with veterans and just homies in the hoods, right? From Long Beach, Compton, and Linwood. Then we have the WO Entertainment family, which is based around the whole U.S., along in other countries, and then our own personal families, friends, associates, and people who don't like us. Um, what's up, Carl? Carl said, Roy, what's up, brother? Happy to see you back. Thank you, man. As everyone knows, this is the first day of our 8th season. That's right. We dedicate 12 weeks. Now it used to be 16 weeks, and we started dedicating 12 weeks solid, staying consistent. This is our 8th season. It's nothing but a blessing of God, and we can keep it going, especially with our good neighbors like Carl Loomis, who jumps in, and anybody. You can have if there's a conversation you want us to talk about, please feel free, send it our way. Yes, yes, happy to be here. That's Starlet Evans. And so while my co-stars is coming in, I wanted to bring up a subject. This week we're talking about what is being humble. You ever notice that something happens in your life and you want to me, express myself. And I'm gonna set the tone like this. When I was a kid, I got to I was 12 and 13. I was I been making money. I had my own. I was throwing papers for a paper guy, and he was paying me 100 a week. I'm 12 years old. Stayed with that job for 4 years all through high school. But I also had my own lawn service. As far as like I had my own clients where I cut their grass, kept their grass. I had like 6 or 8 customers, and then I would wash pots and pans for this nursing home sometimes on the weekend. So I was always making some extra money. And so one time, so I had $100 one time. I was like I said, 12, 13. And I went and bought this sales lady. She was finding the money, talked me into buying a pair of jeans and a shirt at this spot. It was called Jeans West. And I spent like $55 on the jeans and $35 on the shirt. And she was like, "Oh yeah, that's gonna look nice on you," right? She's doing a sales pitch. She hooked me on that one. But anyway, I liked the jeans and the shirt, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna wear this to this function I'm going to." So when I got home, my mother said she got mad. Like, you spent what? $55 on some jeans, $35 on a shirt. She talking about she can get 3 or 4 pair at Sears and all this, And Starlet said, well, veterans, our special ex-husband Marine hustled them bottles, huh? Me too. I don't know. She lost me on that. I guess that's some of that some language she had for the military. But so my mother's ranting and raving. I'm standing my ground because I'm constantly giving her funds. I'm helping pay my way and stuff, and I'm 12, 13. I like the outfit. So my grandmother happened to call while me and her is kind of at a Mexican standoff about me returning this so she can take that money and buy me 4 decent pair of jeans from Sears, and I can get you 3 shirts for. I don't want that. I want what I bought. So my grandmother gets on the phone, and my mother is telling her point and going off. And my grandmother she said, "Put me on the speakerphone." We had a house phone. She put me on speakerphone. My grandmother said, "Baby, if you get it righteously, flaunt it. If you want to wear those jeans and shirt, you flaunt it because you got it righteously." Now, why I'm saying this, why I'm starting this out, is that if you get it and you worked hard and everything, is it being not being humble just because you like, hey, you flaunting it? I always consider being humble as if, all right, you come to my home and I got this big mansion and I got all this going on and I say, hey, you hungry? And I don't clap my hands and tell somebody make them a dish. I'm like, hey man, I fix this up something. Bro, you want something to drink? See, if you do on spirituality, Jesus, who could heal, speak, anything is gonna come in existence because he's the word of God. But yet he washed his disciples' feet. That's an humble move when he died for the whole earth. Now, that's my point of view. I don't press my spiritual beliefs upon others. That's my belief. What is humbleness? And can someone else tell you how you should be humble? You get a big raise. Now, in the word, I've seen where there's stories where the lady had 10 coins and she lost one of them. And she searched her house all day long. When she found it, she partied. She's and you talking about it now. What's braggadocious? I think braggadocious is if you're like, I have, you don't have. To me, that's braggadocious. Testifying about what I have or what God was done did for me, and I'm fronting it. Like somebody used to try to tell me about wearing jewelry until, and and people can get in your head. Well, you need to be humble. You always got chains on and a watch. I feel naked if I don't wear a diamond earring, a gold chain, a watch. I'm like, well, why do I feel naked when I found out that was part of God? Literally, you can look it up. I think it's Ezekiel or Second Kings. Just look at when God said, I put a chain around your neck, a diamond in your ear, rings on your finger, bracelets on your wrists and ankles, and a crown on your head. And he was telling because he said, I gave you all this, but you turned your back to me. Now that's where they forgot to be humble. I was taught that don't forget where you come from. Now, just because I don't forget where I come from, I'm not going to forget where I come from because I came from the deep hoods, homeless, hungry, shot, stabbed, prison, all types of stuff. But I don't think I'm better than you. I'm just thanking him for what he's done for me. And I'm flaunting the glory of what I'm not scrawny. I'm not hungry. I'm not on drugs. I'm not burnt out. None of that. I could be. And if I see a brother or sister like that, doesn't make I'm better than them. I went through the same challenging situations. I was probably just worse than they was when they had nothing else to do but go to God. And that means you have to think positive because I was like, Lord, I got to a point, hey, let me die then. Just let me die. A lot of people, we have been focused on Deion Sanders, or what happened with Deion Sanders. And some people take it that he's braggadocious. But what I tend to see is the underlining digs where they always tell you, you ever find somebody like, I was remember when Oprah Winfrey supposed to gave somebody a scholarship or something, and somebody commented why they could do all this and do all that. Somebody will say you need to stay in your place. Sometimes it has racial aptitudes to it, and it's underlining. Oh, you get this amount of money, boy, you need to humble yourself. What's humble to who? Yes, it's her. Is that how I'm supposed to be humble to some people? Yes, sir. I'm so appreciative of what you done for me. I'm like, fuck y'all. I'm not doing that. I give my praises to God. You may not like the language I use, whatever. That's why Tupac said, only God can judge me. Sometimes we those who's listening, don't let another person tell you how you're supposed to be humble. Because now they're putting it like they're superior over you and telling you how your characterization is supposed to be. Who are they? Literally, for real. You have to sit back and question. Your mama knew best when you was a kid, but when you became a man, you put away them kid ways. Man got to stand 10 toes down. So that means y'all got to rely upon yourself. And if the plan you set out before yourself with God's backing and it's successful, man, you better talk about it. Oh, he's so arrogant. Oh, well, you can say what you want. You can put it all types of definitions. I'm not belittling nobody. I'm not cussing you out. I'm not saying that I'm better than you. I'm not saying I'm just saying, man, my plan worked. Because there was a lot of plans I had, they failed. I want to show this video right quick. I want to show this. This is Deion Sanders. And he's been on the news. And a lot of people was hoping that this man failed because of his confidence of what he can do. And he's already achieved it. Who in the world in the same year goes to a Super Bowl and the World Series? Now, come on, man, if you don't quit, hold it. Let's check him out.
They screwed him. Do you know what his salary was?
Pay attention to what he's saying.
This is what bothered me about some
Black people don't know the
Americans
truth.
of African descent. Because he got backlash from black folks like nobody.
Real talk.
The man is listen, Deion he's him, right? The term for the young folks. They say, I'm him. Deion is him. That means he's the chosen one. Deion Sanders, a Hall of Fame NFL player, one of the greatest to ever play, has the mindset of a king. That man decided to humble himself, coach his kids' team before he made it to Jackson State, which to me is humility to coach at Jackson State, which is a HBCU. They don't treat people right at HBCUs. They don't have the money, they don't have the funding, and they don't do what they're supposed to do. Because if they did, Deion Sanders wouldn't have left, in my opinion. Deion Sanders has complained many times. I've seen the videos. Him complaining about the fact that they promised him ticket sales. He ain't never saw those ticket sales. You know how much money Deion was making? I looked it up the other night. I was talking to my wife. Deion was making $300,000 a year. Maybe 500. Maybe it was 300. It's somewhere around there. 300,000. Let me look it up because I want to make sure I'm accurate about this. I think he was making about $300,000 a year.
Whatever he was making.
They promised him ticket sale
revenue. He did the school some justice.
They didn't have equipment like they're supposed to. There was all kind of fraudulent things going on at that school.
Let's talk about the suits.
He was getting paid $300,000 from Jackson State, and now he went to Colorado. I think getting paid like $5.5 million.
Real talk.
How you gonna be mad at a man who was the man in football?
The man.
Coaching at an HBCU, which he brought tremendous talent. He got that kid Hunt, who's the number one player in the nation, going to an HBCU. And
pay attention to this.
Like myself, who I was a top player in the nation coming out of high school, and I would never go to an HBCU.
You what?
But Deion went to an HBCU, humbled himself, built the HBCU up. I think they won all but one game in the several years he was there. And then Colorado, what you say? Oh, I got 1 minute. And then he ended up getting an opportunity at Colorado, and people were mad. Oh, you selling out, man, the black man? You working for the white man? The black man, you let the black people down. Now the black people let you down at that HBCU. They didn't pay you nothing what you were worth. Then you get an opportunity at Colorado. He said in a 60-minute interview, he brought 12 out of the 14 staffers from Jackson State. He brought tons of players from Jackson State, including his two boys. He gave other people opportunities. And if you live in a bubble where everything is about black people and white people, you are never going to succeed. It's about opportunity and finances to...
Man, look here. I was totally agreeing. That's why I played them. I was totally agreeing. Starlet said, oh, wait a minute. Let me bring in one of the queen of the show. There she is, Miss Cynthia Joy. How you doing, Cynthia?
What's up, Sugarfoot? Listen, how I'm doing? I'm all over the place. I just left the doctor. There's so much stuff going on with me. Since I don't know the topic, I ain't gonna talk about what's going on with me. But know that I'm good. I'm in the building. I'm blessed by the best. I ain't gonna even complain about nothing else.
Well, we just talking about being humbled. I just been holding it down about what is humbled, and I just showed a video about some of the brothers talking about with Deion Sanders, right? And Miss
Uh huh.
Scarlett Evans just said, good topic, humble. It's called blessings with gifts. She said, I just got out FBI jail contempt of court on a rap that 10 years for 2 counts vehicle theft or something like that. 10 years. Um, and I'm like, ooh. And
Ooh.
then she mentioned greedy. Big Hank had just texted me saying that he was having um internet issues. So I told him, what's going on. Now, what I'm talking about is, and I'm gonna bring this up. What is being humble? Now, we just showed a video about Deion Sanders when he was at the HBCU. We knew he was at Jackson State. Now, me myself thought that was an humbling move. This dude won 2 Super Bowls, Cynthia. Been to the World Series. Now, I ain't never heard of an athlete who went to the Super Bowl and the World Series in the same year.
Huh.
Now, humbling for him to just go and coach high school in Jackson State when he could have went straight to the NFL. He said he wanted to help young people get in. Now, look here. To my understanding, what these guys have showed, I want everybody to know that I do my research. Well, I looked up at that in the 2 years, he brought over $30 million to Jackson State. This is in Mississippi, right? They promised him ticket sales and all that. When he seen that man was bringing up the 30 million, they like, this is all them Southern black dudes down there. The old Christian boy. We ain't giving that nigga all that money. This was blacks.
Right.
300,000 per year. If that ain't this man is worth millions. 300,000. So when he upped and left, then they tried to get a belly, got a bug, a hair up there. But this is the part that gets me. He should have humbled himself. Oh, I posted. Okay, what you gonna do if they offer you making 300K, Cynthia? All of a sudden they offer you 5.5 million a season. What you gonna do?
Run that.
Man, if you
Run
don't
that.
quit with that fake humbleness, you know what I'm talking about? He should have. He didn't humble himself. What more? He done brought you 30 million.
Right.
Recognition and all that. Celebrities ain't came down to no Jackson State unless they was an alumni and to make a big parade. Oh, Gregory, he was an extra in the movie, came down here to Jackson State. Because I didn't know about no Jackson State until Deion Sanders got there. I don't care about
Right.
Mississippi. I live in the most beautiful city in the world, Long Beach, California. Why would the world I be worried about some Mississippi?
Right.
But when Deion showed it and all that, I'm like, whoa, it's like that down there. It made me want to go down there. But as soon as he said, okay, he did his part, oh, he need to humble himself. And he had the same mentality he had when he was playing in the game. See, let me tell you something. One time, I'm very good at what I do as a civil designer. And one day, me and this guy, it was about 10, 12 years ago, he couldn't work the computer. I did, but he always had this intellectual conversation type talk. You feel me? And one day he said, man, if I could take your brain and just develop it and form it the way I would like you to do with the. I said, wait a minute, man. I said, see, that's the part right there. Some of y'all want to control other people. You want to control their character. You want to control how high they should feel about themselves. You don't seem to have a springboard for when a person feels low. Look, it backfired on them when Oregon beat Colorado, right? Look here. No one half the nation did not do this. That's what you get, Deion. You know what we said? He said, oh man, he gonna work that out because they 3-1. They was 1-11 last year. If he didn't do nothing else, he did better than that coach they had for 4 or 5 years prior to him. But guess what? Let me tell you something. I tell blacks this all the time. It's not like I kiss anybody's butts, but a lot of the accomplishments that us blacks have is because of some white neighbors, our white brothers and sisters. Now that athletic director at Colorado seen this. He said, bring the fanfare. Well, guess what, Cynthia? This man been there in 3 weeks. You know they made over $90 million. That's the stores around and everything. Money coming up there to Colorado Springs. Everybody making money up there. Over 9 million people coming in. Am I lying? You in Colorado Springs.
Well, hey, I ain't making the money. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. But somebody for sure making the money.
Man, they said these restaurants has been that where dude said they was barely making stuff. So now the restaurants is open at 7 a.m. out there, because I can't wait to go to that one where they have pizza and beer at 7 in the morning.
Who want that?
Me.
But why come for?
Huh?
But why come for?
It's not like I'm gonna be drunk or something, but it's like, hey, pizza, beer, it's here to celebrate. Sometimes you got to give yourself a holiday. This is the only place where blacks, whites has been coming together, and they ain't mentioned that. And then I want to say, man, you know what, man, this old school stuff, these politics, 60 Minutes, that was some BS. Did you see how they portrayed, though, Mrs. Dad said this, man? They get the most derogatory pictures to show. Well, he went from a place that was 80% dominant black with water crisis to a place where it's only 1% black, and it was green pastures with plenty of water to drink. That boy, 80% of blacks make it seem like, boy, we ain't doing nothing there. Isn't that what it sounds like? That's what he said, 60 Minutes. You go to the interview, why would he have to bring up, hey, he left from a place, Jackson State was 80% black, and a water crisis, showing white and black dude with about 5 stacks of water trying to get it home. Compared to a city where it's 1% black, that you make up that 1%.
Right.
I'm talking to a 1%er. And they said that, oh, the streets are made of gold.
What streets?
Hey, so I be thinking about what's humbling. What's humbling? Like, you never hear how our neighbors and especially my white neighbors, how they mention gun control and they against it. I want to be able to carry my gun and all that, and I want to march that with them. You feel me?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I would like to have that, be able to have that same attitude and aptitude about having my gun, right?
Right.
But yet, we talking about humble. Okay, what is this? How humble can you be when this happens? Check this out.
I'm Debbie Smith with Dallas County Sheriff's Department. The reason I'm pulling you over is because your license plate light is out. Do you have your driver's license?
Be sure to give him your
Now, mind you,
your CHL.
Mind you, he said your license plate light is out, not your brake light or your license plate light is out.
You have the weapon in your vehicle? Is that a yes?
Correct.
Yeah, man. That's why I gave it to you.
Where's the weapon at?
With
See how nervous he
Do me a
gets?
favor and step out here with me.
I haven't committed any crimes, man.
I'm asking you to do that while you got a weapon on you.
but you have the CHL, so he's authorized to carry, conceal. You don't have to raise your voice, but you don't have to raise your voice.
Because I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to him.
Well, I already answered you, man. I haven't committed
I'm
any
asking you to
crime.
step out of the
Now
vehicle while
Why?
you have a weapon on you.
I can take the weapon off
For
of
my
me.
safety and your safety.
I gave you that for your safety.
I understand why you gave me this. You're required by law to give me this. It's not for my safety.
Whatever, man.
I'm asking you to step out of the vehicle for my safety.
And then what? After I step out, then
You're
what?
going to stand back here until I'm finished.
Till you finish doing what? Checking my light?
Before I check your license, while I write my citation.
Well, just check the license. Check the license.
I got a 2-year-old son back here.
Okay.
It's for his safety. I'm gonna stay right here.
No, sir. You're gonna step to the back of the vehicle.
I haven't done anything that requires me to step out of this car, man.
Okay.
You're gonna check my license. That's all you need
And you're
to do
gonna
right
step
now.
right to the back while I do it.
Hey, can y'all get in the car and come up here to? We are at we are across from Zoe's kitchen. Can you get the light on my face? We are across from Zoe's kitchen. The Dallas County sheriff pulled us over because they said the light bulb. Can you? We're right across from Zoe's.
Now how can you be humble when you pass over everything, and when you ever can get stopped for your license plate light is out?
I got pulled over for my license plate light being out before.
So you had to get out your car to get
So
a
I'm saying
citation?
it is a thing. They ain't give me
No,
a citation. They just pulled me over.
You had to get out of your car for that minor infraction. That's what it's called. Did you have to get out your car?
No, they ain't make me do all that. They just pulled me over, let me know I had my light out, and told me to go get it fixed.
Well,
and send me on my way.
I got some videos where some of the results is where they arrested the wrong person, like an FBI officer and stuff. I'm not gonna show it on this one, but I wonder, like, what's up being humble? Sound like the dude was being humble to me. He gave you your license and thing, and now you want him to step outside. Why? So you can run through a bunch of stuff that he did not even know himself.
Right.
If the dude would have got out, he should have did. If he got out the car, I would have did like this. If I got out the car, Cynthia, this is how I would have acted. I would have did just like
this. I ain't mad at you.
Hey, I be seeing some crazy videos, right? Look, I think if this black dude who was getting out, now this is South Carolina, Cynthia. I don't know what he's saying, but check, this is dude in South Carolina.
That's all. Hold on.
Did you understand that language? So what? You explain to me, what is humbleness to you?
For me personally?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to really explain it. For me, humbling is it's a love for me. It's love for whatever
it's an action. It's an action, though, isn't it? It sounds more like it's a verb, not a noun. Love sounds like it's a noun. That sounds more like a verb.
No, because everything, it depends on the context in which you use it. And for me, any experience that I'm enjoying can be humbling, but to me it takes perception to be humbled by something. You got to go through something for it to humble you.
Wait a minute. See, that's what I just said, though. You making it sound like a verb. What I'm saying is, you ever hear somebody say, oh, they need to, all right, I know you heard Kendrick Lamar, and Kendrick Lamar like, be humble, sit down, right? Or be humble, sit down.
Oh, yeah.
Now, he's not saying it in a bad point.
Nah.
He just like, hey, check this out. You don't, have to be standing. You don't always have to be right there in front saying, moving around everything. Just sit back, be humble. You ever notice when somebody's around somebody with a lot of money, all of a sudden they got a lot of ideas?
Right.
Isn't being while I'm talking about this, I want to talk about we have a comedy show everybody knows starting October the 5th, downtown Long Beach, California. You want to give a shout out, Big Hank, Little Rob, myself. We'll be hosting it. Like I'm gonna host the first show. Rob will be hosting the second show. Big Hank, you know how that goes. Cynthia, when you come in town, look like you're doing a lot better. You ready to come out and perform? Comics that is trying to. We was going to put that banner out too. Comics. If you want to perform, you're going to register at RoyAnthonyLive.com. It's a simple little thing. You don't have to go much. Don't care who you is. We always have 4 comics each night. 2 doing 10, the other 2 doing 15. If you rocking it, the crowd's gonna give you the accolades. Trust me. If you're not rocking it, you done got up there on our stage and you bomb. I'm letting you know. If I'm hosting, I'm tearing it up. I'm tearing you up because you wasted someone's time and probably your own. But it's downtown Long Beach, 237 Long Beach Boulevard. This you don't park right. You know, if you're in the downtown area, you park at certain parking areas, and it's easy right there. If you're catching the train, it's right by the First Street station in downtown Long Beach. And so this is our professional flyer. Those who've seen this flyer, this is part of our flyer too. This is still to the same show. I let my son do this one. You see Big Hank, myself, Lil Rob, gives you all the information. Those who see the show. So if you're in Long Beach, and come out to the show. If you're not in Long Beach, somewhere in the U.S., you can go to YouTube. Go to YouTube and put in Roy Anthony Live. Just that simple, and it's going to take you to the show live. Every Thursday nights, downtown Long Beach. It starts 7 p.m. The doors open 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Show starts at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So when you catch it on YouTube, if you're in New York, 3 hours from 8:30. So it's 11:30 your time, 10:30 in the Midwest. I think Colorado's an hour now.
Yeah, it'll be 9:30 my time.
Yeah. Because every time I don't think y'all do Central Standard Time, do you?
No, we Mountain Time.
Yeah, I'm just saying is you do the hour back and hour ahead. I don't think Colorado does that, do they?
Yeah, they do. Arizona's the only ones who don't do it.
Okay, that's when y'all the same time with Arizona and then Arizona.
Yeah, but they don't change theirs, but we change ours.
Yeah, because you're 1 hour, behind them now. But later on, you're same time.
Yeah.
Same time Pacific Standard Time, that's what I'm saying. Okay. But okay, now. Is it not being humble, Cynthia? If I be like, say for instance, I've just got a big raise, I'm making $1 million. Now, am I being non-humble because I'm like, yeah, I got that raise, and woo, 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 woo. It seemed to me like not being humble is if I'm acting like I'm better than you. I told you I'm better than you. Now I'm putting am I making sense? What's the difference of someone, bragging or not bragging, but glorifying what they have? Tell me, how can it be where you consider not being humble?
Well, the difference is when you are boasting about what you got and you're throwing it in people's face and you're bragging about it and being proud of what you've accomplished, that's being humble. At least for me, that's how I take it.
Would you tell somebody, have you ever told somebody else they need to humble themselves?
No, I ain't never told nobody nothing because I know people come from different things, and if they had once had nothing and now they got so much, of course they're gonna be that type of person. But that thing is between them and God. I don't have nothing to do with that. So I don't I've never told nobody to humble themselves because I don't know where they come from and why they the way they are. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, why would you think somebody would tell somebody they need to humble themselves?
I think it'll be maybe an older person that sees something in somebody or see them acting a certain way and say, you
Compared to
better
who
humble
though?
yourself because, huh?
See, now what you just said, and I was talking about this earlier. Compared to who? Who they telling them to do? Do I supposed to be like this? Remember, some of the old people who came from them, yes sir, no ma'am's people.
Right, but you got to remember their mindset is different. So they
That's what
humbled
I'm saying.
about things on a whole different level. Whereas maybe people in our time, they kind of boast about what they got. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just being proud of where they come from and how much they've accomplished. So they lose
But
life
see,
with God. They think everything that they got, they did themselves.
I can see. Okay, what I'm saying is, okay, we're bringing up. It seems like we're giving the definition of being prideful or braggadocious. That doesn't fall under the character. This is the thing. What I'm saying, humans say this. What being humbleness is. Okay,
I,
throughout what I read on Jesus is that he was telling them, I am the no man comes to the Father but by me and stuff, right? He's saying, right? But he humble because he knows he's the power of God. He washes the disciples' feet. He dies on a cross for all of us. Hey, we lost you, Cynthia. Cynthia got lost. You stuck right now. She may be coming back on. You got stuck for a minute, Cynthia. You still going. Cynthia, you hear me?
Amazon building. I can hear you.
Can't get because you got stuck for a minute. And then we saw you turn your head like, hey, you said something about Amazon building. You with us?
Yeah, it's the big Amazon building over here. My reception been real bad since they built this building over here.
Oh man, Amazon building stuff everywhere, ain't they? Uh-oh, you stuck again. Look like red ball is hanging. Some but I'm Big Hank told me he's having difficulties, but it's something to look at about what is you telling somebody like Cynthia, you had just said, Cynthia said when she gets her camera right, when she gets past this building, we'll bring her back in. As soon as her camera comes back on, we'll bring her in. But someone tells you, be humble. And so I'm trying to wait. Let me bring her back in. Hold up for a second. Okay, Cynthia, you back in? You back in?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you kind of going in and out. You sticking and coming in. I'm gonna wait for you to come back in stronger. Once she start moving around in the background, I know what I have a problem with someone telling to be humble. And I'm trying to figure out compared to what. Sometimes we want to tell our young people to be humble. And I'm trying to be like, compared to what? Because wait a minute, Cynthia's back. Cynthia, you back in? You back in? Oh, she's stuck again. I ain't messing with her while she driving, because she driving through the mountaintops and everything. They say you need to be humble. And I'm like, compared to what? What am I comparing to? Jesus never told anybody to tone down their rhetoricness. He said, God don't like a prideful look. That a prideful means I'm better than you. That's how I'm better than you. Everything I do is golden. I don't do nothing bad. That's a prideful look. It's not a sign of that you're not humble. We have to understand what. See, I've been bringing this up because there's been a lot going on, and I've been using Deion Sanders as an example, not because of who he is as a football player in the past and stuff, but and as a World Series baseball player. Um, I'm looking at it as many times as we've talked about what's happened in Tulsa, the Tulsa massacre, when we talked about the 100 cities and stuff, and the people was doing better than they were. So now, when he was at Jackson State, and it was coming to Colorado, they made him. It made it seem like they was trying to make him seem like he was a bingo long all stars and motor king type of coach, and all this fanfare and glitz and all that. Well, that's always been his get downs, but he got it righteously. I've never seen Mr. Deion Sanders accused of cheating on with drugs or making his body performance more than what it is. He's never had his, he's always been where he's been vocal because he's confident in what he does. That's a testimony. If we find him being a lie, but see, a lot of powers to be really want us blacks sometimes to be, yes, sir. Well, you know, I'm glad for this opportunity. I'm glad that they made me this offer. And then you even got other blacks who want you to act like this. I've seen people who will not receive their blessings because they worry somebody done told them, you know, boy, you can't serve the devil and the Lord too. Wait a minute. Every job you got, it's a mixture of who's believing in God and who's not. How you gonna let somebody stop you from your opportunity of being somewhere because they're telling you you'll humble yourself? Compared to what? Humbleness is a verb. It's not a noun. It's an action. So they want you, well, tone it down compared to how I'm looking at you. For real, blacks went through this where I'm not, and everybody knows. I'm talking about the whites who they know who they are to this day. Just like Ron DeSantis, you want to say blacks benefited from slavery? How disrespectful. Now that is not being humble. That's a prideful look. When you can look at a race of people and erase all their history and accomplishments and blood and all this stuff, and you're gonna mouse it up like you still helped us, you arrogant flat. You feel me? You don't tell him to humble himself with this crazy rhetoricness, but you want to tell a black person who's making money and did this, you need to quiet it down. Who you going to listen to? A dude because he's on 60 Minutes or he's a reporter on ESPN who ain't never played the game of sports? He gives his analogy and he knows how to flip the words and makes it all clear for you. But you're going to look past the man who actually was in between those lines, taking hits, getting hurt. The man just had to, he been running and stuff where his toe had to be amputated. I seen a picture where his toe don't have no room with the other four. Say, we shutting him out. He was sticking up by himself. What foot can I go to? That for real. Because jealousy will tell somebody you need to humble yourself. They don't even have it, because what some people's wanting you to do is take they looking at you as being humble, and now you need to be like the church mouse. Oh, when you was broke, you be loud like, hey, praise the Lord. Now when you got it and you say, hey, and they be like, you need to sit your ass down. You need to humble yourself. Don't know me from man on the moon. I tell you right now, and I be telling my family, I want ridiculous blessings. Because, like, I love what Deion Sanders said when he said, it's because, see, I can relate with him on the spiritual tip. It's not about his accomplishment on the golf thing, on the college game. It's the spiritual part. Being direct, he's way better than me because I will say a cuss word. Because there's no condemnation, those who believe in Christ. But he's better than me. So, but you know what? He probably control his emotions more better because I'm gonna put my point across, but I may use something that's a little bit unsultry to your ears. I'm dealing with grown folks. He's dealing with the kids, and I respect that because when I'm around kids, I don't be cussing like that at all neither. And so, but I'm dealing with you grown folks who sits right here and you can sit back and listen. And we got to think about parts of our characterization. Who are you to tell somebody they need to humble themselves? And when you say that or you feel that way, compare it to what? Or are you on the borderline of realizing that you are hating on someone? And you want them to have the characteristics that you would want them to have if you was in their position. I ain't never heard Warren Buffett tell Floyd Mayweather to humble himself. He was like, hey, man, he's my type of guy. I haven't heard nobody even tell former President Donald Trump he needs to humble himself. All the cases he got. For real. You get to tell your testimony, they like, oh, hey, acting like you better than somebody and stuff. They need to humble themselves. No, you need to stop hating. That's what you need to do. Don't hate. What you do is you come out, you feel a little down because things ain't working for you like you think they should. Then instead of telling somebody to humble themselves, what you do is come on out to the comedy show. Starts October 5th. We at 237 Long Beach Boulevard. For real, $10 to get in. You'll be around the other like-minded people because they're trying to laugh and have a good time and get away from their problems. But don't find yourself, if you're telling somebody they need to humble themselves, who is you? See, this is the thing. Be happy for somebody if they did. If they want to say, hey, I did this, and they're not saying to you, I'm better than you. They're just saying, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. I have a plan. I've been following a plan that I made it for myself, and I've been following it. I haven't made no one try to follow my plan, and I'm sure not a person who's going to give somebody a plan that I didn't do it myself. I have been making this known. I am tired of people who ain't spent a dime on me trying to tell me the plan. You got it backwards. Don't tell me to humble myself. Humble yourself and find out the plan that'll be fortunate for you. Don't worry about, oh, if I'm sitting up here humbling myself. Are you humble enough to learn what I can show you? That's where the get downs is. Tell me to humble myself. I'm like measuring it off of what? If you come to my house and you hungry, I'm going to get you something to eat. And I ain't going to clap my hand. Jeffro, get him something to eat. Because this, no. I'll be like, hey, what you want to eat, bro? I got you. Ask anybody. We go to a restaurant. Hey, I flipped the car. I got it, fellas. I ain't even thinking twice. I ain't even acting like I'm Mr. Big This. I got it. Yeah, you know, I ain't doing like that. I'll be like, hey, I got it, bro. Y'all get the next one. That's humble to me. But if I'm bragging like, Lord bless me with my gold chains and diamond ears, he's blessing me. I'm being honest. Because I got it righteously. Because when I did have it back in the days and I wasn't righteous, I sure wasn't bragging about it. You understand me? Because there were certain situations I had to deal with. But now I'm like, hey, I don't look over my shoulders. I'm not fearful of no man. And so then I humble myself. I've heard some of my white neighbors say, well, if they would have cooperated with the police, cooperate with them what? We give them everything that they want, and they still want to control. Y'all just ain't been in the situations. That's why we show the videos. That video I showed you earlier, that happened just 6 days ago. Go figure. Colorado in 3 weeks. Even if we took a loss, that journey ain't over. They've already succeeded more than they did last year. 3-1 wins. They was 1-11. And the win that they got, the other opposing team botched the field goal kick. For real. They would have been 0-12. But so many people, why would you be hoping that he lose because you don't like his confident ways and he's loud and confident about it? That you thinking that you being what they call politically like the good reporter criticism and everything. Like I kept saying the 60-minute host, like he said, he even meant it. We tried to press him on what? He said his journey, it was done. Who? Look here, let me tell you something. I don't care if I was working for an all-black engineer firm and we got plans, but they only paying me only $85,000 a year. I'm just letting you know. This other white firm, they come and they offer me $200,000-$300,000 with bonuses and all the perks. And man, you don't go on with that for real. Like he said, my blessings don't have nothing to do with your blessings. It's because you ain't got there. I did. And then you have to look at yourself, because I believe in Ephesians 3:22, whom can give me exceedingly abundantly more I can ask or think from the power inside of me. Now, if you ain't working and you ain't accomplishing from the power inside of you and telling me, and I'm doing the same thing, like, hey, boy, you know how God is with me, boy. God bless me, boy. You need to sit down. He need to humble himself. To who? Because you ain't doing shit and you want to sit up here and act like that. Even God asked him, he said, what you coming here for? So you can see the limbs blow in the wind. When we play Big Hank and their music and Big Ski and their music, you didn't get up and dance. You said, look at them. When we played gospel at the funeral and playing sad songs, you didn't even want to cry. Like, look at them. They need to sit down, need to humble themselves. Compared to who? Look at who's saying it. When you say them words to somebody, I don't care who it is, if you're watching someone on celebrity or TV and stuff, and you telling them, oh, they need to humble themselves. You can ask yourself then, compared to who? What are you measuring them up? From your imagination of how they should be, or you have a solid proof of how a person should be? Because it sounds like a lot of people got something to say because that wasn't them. And they put up a characteristics of how they think a person should be humble. Sometimes it's very racial because you might have some white counterparts, our white neighbors, who want black person to be, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You see when I do that, because they don't want you to look at me in the eye. How dare you look me in the eye, boy? Yes, sir. You crazy out your mind, man. You crazy out your mind. Humbleness is when it's a verb, it's an action. It's not a noun, and it's not a placement of you to tell me how to be with my personality, point blank. If any freedom I have a freedom of who I am, not for who you want me to be. And just like you had the same freedom, don't let them discourage you on being who you want to be. Just don't look down on other people. If God is blessing you, be loud about it. Be loud about it. Be louder than what the demons who bless those ones. Don't worry about what they demon. You be just as loud. And that's how I feel about it. I'm Roy Anthony, man. But partners was coming in. You seen Cynthia was rolling somewhere. Big Hank be coming in. He was having mess up, but he'll be here Thursday. We're going to jump up on this subject. I'm Roy Anthony. Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show, and we're coming up out of here. Come back in Thursday, 10 a.m. We getting back on this. What is being humble? Peace out.
Welcome to the Roy Anthony and Friends Show. Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all tap in.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Is anybody
Anthony
out
Show
there?
is the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The